It looks like somebody's gonna be in that unemployment line after Sunday night's Oscar fiasco. This is movie time. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Movie Time with iSwag TV. I'm your host, Keith Washington. Sunday night was the 89th Annual Academy Awards, and what a show it was. Justin Timberlake started the show off with his riveting performance of his Oscar-nominated song, Can't Stop the Feeling, from the film Trolls. Now, after his performance, it went straight into host Jimmy Kimmel's monologue. Now, while the monologue was filled with jokes about the people there, as well as political satire that had to do with our current president, Donald Trump, it still went off without a hitch. But that might have been the only thing that night that wasn't a complete mess up. We all know that watching the Academy Awards, the last award that is given out is the Best Picture Award. There were 9 movies nominated this year, and the award that ended up winning was La La Land.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
However, during the award's acceptance speech as the producers and directors came up to get their award, it seemed to be something troubling going on, and we found out why. La La Land was actually not the winner of the award. The award actually went to Moonlight.
Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. Come on, this is not a joke.
This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
Now you may be wondering how something like that could actually happen. All they had to do was give Warren Beatty the correct card which had Moonlight on it. Well, now we know how that happened. According to the people at the Oscars, there are 2 suitcases given to the accountants that hold the awards in them that are identical. Each suitcase has the same number and the same kind of cards in it that holds the names of the winners. According to them, what happened was a stagehand gave Warren Beatty the wrong card as he was going up to announce the award. And that's where it said Emma Stone, La La Land, which is why when Faye Dunaway said La La Land, everyone got up. This also happens to be why Warren Beatty took such a long pause and looked physically disturbed while he was looking at the card. It wasn't for dramatic effect, guys. He actually saw that it said Emma Stone, La La Land, and was wondering why it said that. As he was looking at it, he decided to give the card to Faye Dunaway to read the name. She looked at it quickly and she said La La Land. We also have a little bit of insider information on that setup as well. According to TMZ, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty really don't like each other. During rehearsals for the Oscar Awards, the two were bickering back and forth on who was actually going to say the name. It ultimately ended up being Faye Dunaway. During Oscars night, when they both walked on there and Warren Beatty looked at the card, he decided he was actually going to show it to Faye Dunaway and let her have her moment. She took her moment and said the wrong name. Ultimately, the award ended up going to Barry Jenkins and Moonlight. Everyone gave a big congratulations to their whole team for winning that gracious award. Now, that wasn't the only big mess up of the night. As you know, during these award shows, there's always an in memoriam segment, where the stars pay tribute to old stars who have passed in the last year. During this segment, they spoke about Australian costume designer Janet Patterson. But on the screen, Janet Patterson's picture isn't who you saw. You actually saw Jan Chapman, a Sydney-based film producer who was Janet's longtime friend. Looks like somebody over there at the Oscars is gonna have to get it together real quick. But enough about all that. Let's talk about the big award winners of the night. Casey Affleck took home the Oscar for lead actor in the film. Mahershala Ali took home the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Emma Stone took home the Oscar for Lead Actress, and the great Viola Davis took home the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, who in my opinion had one of the greatest speeches of the night. One of my favorite quotes from her speech was, "I became an artist, and thank God I did, because we are the only profession that celebrates what it means to live a life." What an amazing woman she is. Other big winners of the night were Damien Chazelle for Best Director, Zootopia for Best Animated Feature, Manchester by the Sea for Best Original Screenplay, Moonlight for Best Adapted Screenplay. For Best Original Score, it went to La La Land, and for Best Original Song, it went to City of Stars from the La La Land soundtrack. We congratulate all the big winners and their awards for the night. With the weekend over, it's time for a weekend box office roundup. In its premiere weekend, The film Get Out grossed a little over $30.5 million, the film directed by Jordan Peele from Key and Peele fame. Holding that number 2 spot is the Lego Batman movie. It took in $19 million over the weekend, bringing its domestic box office to $133 million, while its worldwide box office is at $226 million, over doubling its $80 million budget. Holding that number 3 spot is John Wick Chapter 2 with a little over $9 million, bringing its domestic box office to about $74 million. At the number 4 spot is The Great Wall with about $8.7 million. And bringing up that number 5, dropping about 62%, is 50 Shades Darker, bringing it into about $7 million. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of Movie Time with iSwag TV. Hope you enjoyed our Oscars recap. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. You can find me at Keith These Days on Instagram and Twitter, as well as Keith510 on Snapchat. And make sure you follow Movie Time at MovieTime_iSwagTV on Instagram and MovieTime_iSwag on Twitter. See you later.